the same with metadata. Metadata, like the electrical grid on the highway system, fades into the background of everyday life, taken for granted as just part of what makes modern life run smoothly. As citizens of the modern world, we are all familiar with and have a reasonable, though probably incomplete understanding of the electrical grid on the highway system, and many other pieces of modern infrastructure. But unless you're an information scientist or an intelligence analyst working for the NSA, the same is probably not true of metadata. And so we arrive at the purpose of this book. This book will introduce you to the topic of metadata and the wide range of topics and issues that metadata touches on. We will discuss what metadata is and why it exists. We will look at a range of different types of metadata for different users and use cases. We will talk about some of the technologies that make modern metadata possible, and we will speculate about the future of metadata. And by the end of this book, you will be seeing metadata everywhere. It's metadata's world, and you're just living in it. Invisible metadata. When you picked up this audiobook from your local bookstore shelves, you were using metadata. What attracted you to this audiobook to cause you to pick it up? Was it the title, the publisher, the cover art? Whatever it was, it almost certainly was not the content of the audiobook itself. Of course, now that you are listening to this, you have some information about the content of this audiobook, but you did not have that information before you picked it up. You had to rely on other cues, other pieces of information about the audiobook. Those other pieces of information are metadata, data about this audiobook. When metadata is doing its job well, it fades into the background, almost to the point of being invisible. You're so used to seeing books with titles and publishers and cover art that it probably didn't even register with you that this audiobook has those things too. It would probably only have registered if this audiobook didn't have a title or publisher or cover art. We're so conditioned to metadata about audiobooks being part of our audiobook buying environment that we don't even think about it. We're so conditioned to metadata about a lot of things being part of our everyday environment that we don't even think about it. How did it come to be this way? A brief history of metadata. The word metadata only came into the English language in 1968, but the idea of metadata goes back to the first library. The word is a deliberate play on Aristotle's metaphysics. Though Aristotle never called those particular works by that name, they have historically been collected together under that title to indicate that they came after or dealt with topics beyond the physics. Similarly, the word metadata indicates something that is beyond the data, a statement or statements about the data. Linguistically, this is a loose translation of the Greek prefix meta, but it is consistent with what has become the everyday use of the word meta, to indicate something at a higher level of abstraction. Although the word metadata is only a few decades old, librarians have been working with metadata for thousands of years. Though what we now call metadata has historically just been called information in the library catalog. The information in a library catalog is intended to solve a very specific problem, to help users of the library find materials in the library's collection. The Pinakes is considered by historians to be the first library catalog, created by Callimachus for the Library of Alexandria around 245 BC. Only fragments of the Pinakes have survived the intervening millennia, but here's what is known. Works were listed by genre, title, and author's name, along with some biographical information about each author. Additionally, a summary and the total number of lines of a work were included. Fast forward more than 2,000 years later, and we're still using many of the same pieces of information in library catalogs: author, subject, blurb, length.